Wow, look on the screen, look on the screen. Cute little queen. She threatened Tyrone and now she is gone. I'll be the reason you don't ever see daylight again. 3 bodies alone. I know story from beginning to end. Yep, you're going to jail. Yeah, so she thought. So she thought. Here's his son. Nice looking kid. Dusties bring drama, they bring trauma. These ladies are really in a state of denial. When these guys commit this crime, you think, oh, it's not going to be me. Well, check it out. Fair use.
Detailed in the affidavit, she threatened to go to police about those other homicides. The brutal murder took 3 lives. 28-year-old Nandy Fitzgerald, Tatiana Tay Hill, also 28, and Fitzgerald's son, 16-year-old Denzel Buddy Nowland. But police believe Nandy Fitzgerald was Steve's true target. In text messages retrieved by investigators, Fitzgerald criticized Steve for not paying child support or visiting their shared son. And she threatened to go to police about homicide she said Steve committed. Quote, I'll be the reason you don't ever see daylight again. 3 bodies alone. I know the story from the beginning to end. You're going to jail for some blank you probably thought you was going to get away with. Steve was arrested on criminal homicide charges in 2015 in the murder of a 19-year-old man in Homewood. Though those charges were later dropped for lack of evidence, police sources confirm they suspect him in connection with at least 3 other fatal shootings. They've also been looking to speak with him about the death of his 4-year-old son, Johnny Lane, who shot and killed himself on November 22nd in this house on Negley Avenue in Pittsburgh. Steve had been living there at the time, and according to the affidavit, police found 2 guns in his upstairs bedroom. Just about the arrest of Ronald Steve. I spoke briefly with Nandy Fitzgerald's mother, Wanda Fitzgerald, who told me she was too emotional to speak about Steve's arrest, but she said she would have something to say after his preliminary hearing next week. Now, Steve was arraigned this morning and formally charged with 3 counts of criminal homicide. He was denied bond and will await trial in the Allegheny County Jail. Reporting in Homewood, Andy Sheehan.
I said before, and it blows my mind. These ladies think when they're with these thugged out dusties, oh, that's he be like that. They really have themselves in some kind of false sense of security. So this baby's gone, 4 years old, and they think he did it or has something to do with it. A 4-year-old shot himself? Is that his way out of paying child support? I don't put anything past him. I don't put anything past them. I said before and said again, they really don't have a problem when these men are committing crimes against other people. They don't have a problem with it. Not. Well, girl, that's just how he is. But that's how he do stuff like that. But you think it's not gonna be you. Got you. Duly noted. You think as long as it's not you, that's my man, he ain't gonna do that to me until it's done. And then what? Until it's done. Then what? Learn a little bit too late who you're dealing with. Sleeping with the enemy, procreating with the enemy. So let's get this understood. So she obviously knows what kind of man he is, but you complain about him not coming around and spending time with his son. Oh, and paying child support. You already know with these derelict dusties, that's one reason to catch a bullet. Is to tell him to get a job, move out, or pay child support. A death is about guaranteed on those 3 subjects alone. You're thinking you're special, but you're not. Why would you even want that trash around you? You think he values you. Boo-boo, he doesn't. If he did, they wouldn't leave all these baby mamas. You got to threaten him to come around you and see your son? I have to question your sanity, your thinking process. Who would even want him around? Like, are you really serious? Who would want him around? You got to be kidding me. So we're looking at suspicion on the death of a 19-year-old, then his 4-year-old son. That's the second person. These two ladies, fourth person, then a 16-year-old child. So instead of 3 bodies, it looked like it's 5. Actually 6. Because she says, quote, in the text, I'll be the reason you don't ever see daylight again. 3 bodies alone. She didn't count the other female, the 6-year-old, and she didn't count herself in that equation. So knowing what kind of man this is, you want him around you. I know story from beginning to the end. You're going to jail for some blank you probably, I guess, I thought you would get away with. So Nandy, that dust wasn't so dandy, was it? You shouldn't even want this around you. People get, well, he's a parent, and they get tired of responsibility. Being a mom, need a break. Look here, these dusties, child, you get a break, all right. Beat the brakes off you. You might get a break, or vacay be your final destination. Dealing with these dusties, it's not worth it. So according to her, he's got 3 bodies on him, and you thinking you can go ahead and threaten him, or he ain't gonna hurt you. A many woman has thought that years ago, and I'm sure it's still happening. A woman, the man was in prison. I think he'd been there for maybe like 10 years for attempted murder or murdering his wife. Yes, I think it was attempted murder. Next thing you know, this fool has gotten out in Texas, and what the hell you think? Some fool woman got booed up with him. Oh, he wasn't out for too long. I think a couple of months. Wasn't out for too long. They had it out, and he murdered her and cut the carpet out with so much blood and rolled her behind up in the carpet. And her son saw it happen and hid the closet. Saw it all go down in the living room. I'm sure she thought, well, she was so desperate. Even her mother, they said, warned her about this guy. Attempted murder or on his ex-wife? Really? And you're going to date him? So desperate. And bring him, of course, home. I mean, get out halfway house in her house. Let me guess. I wonder if she asked him to get a child. Or maybe he got violent. And she reminded him, this is my apartment. Then you back to the halfway house. And she ended up being deceased. He rolled up in carpet. And I believe he may have put her in a dumpster or something. But the son said, oh, the mama was in the carpet. The son washed it off from the closet, hiding. So this here, sometimes you think you know, you don't. You think you know that person and you don't. Oh, a many person has learned that. Well, I thought, but I thought, sleeping and procreating with the enemy. And look at the irony. She should have did the right thing and turned him in. I'll be the reason you don't ever see daylight again. And she didn't know, no, sweetheart. He's going to flip the script on you, boo. He's going to be the reason you don't ever see daylight again. So 3 bodies that she's referencing, then another woman, her, and a 16-year-old child. And look, I guess he thought he was going to get away, not knowing the text messages. But I mean, you think about it. Why? Look at the reason she contacted him about child support. So that tells me a lot about her. 3 bodies alone. I guess she called herself that was going to be her little leverage. And it also tells me that she didn't care. Based on this text, it kind of leads me to believe she didn't care about those 3 other victims. That tells me that she did not care about those victims at all. She worried about her child support and come see this child. And then when it's your turn, you want somebody to care about you. Something is truly wrong here. Truly wrong. How you would even entertain the idea of having someone like this in your life, knowing, as you say, he's got 3 bodies alone. You're going to force him into child support? It's not like he's a high earner anyway. That's your leverage. Huh. Okay. Trying to use leverage with a Dusty to pay child support and come to see the son that they shared and lost your life. Sad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. She's text, I'll be the reason you don't ever see the light again, and didn't know he had the upper hand. If he's got 3 bodies, he has no problems murdering you, boo. He has no problems doing that. So he flipped the script, and now she won't ever see the light again. Trying to use leverage with a homicidal Dusty, her life came to an end. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Look forward to your thoughts on the situation. Dusties bring drama, and trauma, they bring heartache, they bring death. The financial implications is too much dust in the nation. And I'm out.